Good evening, I'm John Beebe. Welcome to Gay News Break.
And I'm Beebe Boswell.
An academic counselor with the University of Minnesota's athletic department is suing the school for sexual discrimination, claiming he was deprived of fair pay and forced to work in a hostile environment because he is gay. Rick Marsden, who has worked for the university for about 15 years, has served as senior academic counselor for the Gophers hockey team and other athletes. He alleges that the university discriminated against Marsden by not allowing him to take part in academic meetings with athletes that were held in the locker rooms, and because he was not allowed to room with anyone when he accompanied teams on road trips. For the past 10 months, Marsden has taken medical leave and has been hospitalized for severe depression. His attorney said Marsden and his doctors repeatedly have asked the university to give him another job, but the school just keeps asking the doctors for additional information. Dorinda?
Thank you, John. In the headlines of the latest Gaily Oklahoman, it reads, "From Exodus to Epworth." Well, many lesbians, gays, and transgenders come from strict religious backgrounds, battling the issue of whether they are going to hell or not for their sexual preference. Karen Beard and Teresa Corley, a few years ago, used to be poster kids for the ex-gay ministry known as Exodus. Exodus is a church and ministry for ex-gay people and also provides reparative therapy. Teresa was a member of the Southern Baptist Church, and Karen was a member of the Nazarene Church. The two of them met at an Exodus meeting and fell in love. Today, Karen and Teresa can laugh at the way they met, but it hasn't always been that way, as they have struggled to reconcile their sexual orientation with their need to have a deep and meaningful relationship with God and the church. They had shared a goal of finding that one church home that they can openly serve God and do the work of the church. They and many others have found that freedom at the Epworth United Methodist Church in Oklahoma City. For many dedicated Christian gays and lesbians and transgenders, whether coupled or single, Epworth has become the proverbial post in the storm. Karen said, "Epworth, as my church meets my needs, there is a real sense of coming together, and the gay issue is not an issue. It's about life in the church."
Friends of the High-Low joined forces again this year to hold another successful fundraiser for the AIDS Walk and local HIV and AIDS charities. Bringing together the owner, Gil Ray, along with his trusty staff of bartenders and wait persons, the October 24th show was filled with hilarious entertainment. This year's fundraiser took a three-pronged approach with a raffle, a Christmas ornament sale, and the benefit show itself. The raffle began in early October, raising $2,100 over a 3-week period. Then, the Touch of Class store, located at Shepard Mall, donated 50 red ribbon ornaments to the fundraiser. The money from the raffle and the ornament sale will be added to the $2,400 in contributions raised during the benefit show for a total of $5,000. Just fantastic. Most of the proceeds have already been turned over to CarePoint, the agency responsible for organizing this year's AIDS Walk. CarePoint will award the money to a variety of local HIV and AIDS service providers on December 1st. Congratulations to them.
That's great. Equal at Lucent Technologies will hold its annual fundraising event with Carpenter Square Theater and a special production of Ruthless at Stage Center in downtown Oklahoma City on December 2nd. Equal at Lucent is the gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and straight supportive employee resource group for the local Lucent plant. Karen Parsons, a spokesperson for the group, says, "We do a lot to help the community and help the cause. One way we do that," she says, "is by bringing money into the community rather than just recirculating the money that is already there." She says they do that by involving the straight supportive community in our annual fundraiser, which is the play at Carpenter Square. In addition to supporting local agencies and organizations, Equal at Lucent holds annual conference to help address the gay and lesbian issues in the workplace. The conference is open to all Lucent employees, their spouses, and significant others, and to community members who are interested in learning how to affect the workplace, changes of their own. The conference is an educational effort addressing such concerns as coming out as management and standing up to the religious right. The whole idea is to build a healthier workplace, Parsons says. A silent auction will start the fundraising evening at 7 o'clock with the play Ruthless to follow at 8 o'clock. For more information, you may call Karen Parsons at 405-491-4880. That is 405-491-4880.
Sounds like a lot of fun. From People Magazine's mailbag, now this is the issue coming out on November the 23rd, which is next Monday. Here are some comments sent in by readers from around the country responding to Matthew Shepard's murder and his funeral. Meredith Jordan from Biddleford, Maine says, "The most horrifying photograph I have seen in a very long time shows a woman outside Matthew Shepard's funeral holding signs reading 'Fags doom nations' and 'Matt in hell.' In this paradoxical moment, she is herself a symbol of that which dooms nations, hatred that consumes the hearts of the people." Angie Homburg of Conroe, Texas says, "What a picture, a woman standing at a funeral in front of mourning friends and loved ones holding signs declaring that the deceased is in hell. What a stunning example of Christian love and sensitivity. Go back to Kansas and read your Bible a little more carefully, lady." Michelle Rudolph in San Jose, California writes, "I am a Christian, and the God I know loves all people. God does not hate fags. What he does hate is the evil that motivates such cruel acts as these."
Also, John, Jane Richards from Norridge, Illinois, says that if there is indeed a hell, the unidentified Kansas woman holding those hateful placards will surely be there, not Matthew Shepard. And Charles Wilson from Fullerton, California, he says, "If anyone doubted there could ever be a Holocaust in this country, the picture of the woman from Kansas should remove any doubt. To see a human being so consumed by hate is terrifying." And Georgina Bristow from Long Grove, Illinois, she writes, "It doesn't matter if Matthew Shepard was a gay, straight, or zigzagged. He was a human being who died without a reason. The monsters who showed up at his funeral to speak their anti-gay opinions while friends and family mourned should be ashamed."
Well, Dorinda Robert S. Jenkins of Newport Beach, California, I should say Dr. Jenkins, says, "I am still amazed that people hate me and other gay people for something we did not choose to be. If anyone thinks I chose to be gay and put up with the crap I have endured since childhood, they are sadly mistaken. Living in fear of not being accepted, much less the fear of physical harm, has done damage to many gay people, including me. I grieve for ignorant people who think gays deserve to be killed. May God bless us all."
And in our national news, in Houston, a man charged with murdering his ex-lover is claiming it was a mercy killing. 34-year-old Charles John Thomas, an ex-convict who has AIDS, is in jail charged with strangling his lover, 35-year-old David Engel Payne. Thomas first told police he came home from work and discovered Payne's body. After an autopsy revealed Payne had been strangled, Thomas changed his story, saying Payne, who also has AIDS, wanted to be put out of his misery. Thomas is being held in the Harris County Jail without bond following his arrest.
And in world news, an island in the Pacific has become the second country to ban discrimination based on sexual orientation. Government officials on the island of Fiji plan to amend the new Bill of Rights to include gays and lesbians. However, they plan to write it in such a way that it prohibits same-sex marriage. That decision came from pressure from several religious organizations on the island. South Africa was the first country to include gays in its constitution. Well, in Britain, Welsh Secretary Ron Davies gave up his cabinet position last month after being outed by the media. According to reports, Davies had been mugged while cruising for sex in a park. After he reported the incident to the police, the media made the information public. Davies was set to become the first Minister of Wales when the country gets its own legislature in May. He was not asked to resign, but said he felt it was the right decision. During the media frenzy, a second cabinet member, Trade Secretary Peter Mandelson, also was outed. A third cabinet member, Culture Secretary Chris Smith, is openly gay. Well, in Cape Town, South Africa, a gay man has won the right to receive pension fund benefits from his dead lover. After quitting his job to stay home and care for his dying partner, the man was first denied those benefits, but a court later decided he was definitely entitled. The courts decided the dead man's children and grandchildren will each receive a small portion, but the surviving lover will get the bulk of the fund. The ex-wife gets nothing, the court said. South Africa's constitution bans discrimination based on sexual orientation, and the courts say they were not willing to carve out any exceptions. Well, stay with us, and we'll be right back after this message.
Thank you.
I've taught my kids just the way my mama taught me. She gave me a strong sense about what's right. She called it mother wit. Even as young as my kids are, they know their way around. And they're well aware I can draw the line if I have to. But with AIDS out there, I'm going to have to dig a little deeper and talk a little longer about drugs, sex, and AIDS.
We can help you talk about AIDS. For a free guide, call 1-800-342-AIDS.
Be positive. He's okay, but does anybody know what he's going through? What do our people think? We need to get on this. Shirley, do we have an employee policy? Are we required to set one up? Kurt, is he covered by our insurance plan? Okay, Ellen, as his manager, is he entitled to extra time off?
At least 1 in 10 businesses has had an employee with HIV.
John. Terry?
If you have a business, you need answers.
How can we help? Anybody? Anybody at all?
Call for this manager's kit and help keep your workplace healthy and productive.
It's awfully quiet in here.
Welcome to this week's edition of Inside Out. Tonight we have with us Darren Two Hatchet. He is currently working on a video that deals with cruising in the gay community. And we have a clip of that, but before we show you that clip, I would like for Darren to explain a little bit about what you're seeing, and then after we see the clip, we'll come back and we'll talk to Darren. Darren, tell us, set us up for this clip that we're about to see.
This is a piece from a work in progress that I'm working on right now. And I guess I can say that it deals with different aspects of cruising in the Oklahoma City area, and ultimately, though, the work is a self-portrait of myself. So,
okay. Why don't we take a look at that clip?
Okay.
What are we seeing now? This is one of the actors in the.
Yeah, this is me with me and another actor.
Okay. And where are you exactly at this point?
It's set at the side of the Murrah Building site.
Really?
The Murrah Building for me, for Oklahoma, signifies a. There was a massive outpouring of emotionalism.
Mm-hmm.
It's a symbol of loss for me. So following the train of thought with cruising, in these scenes, sexual desire for me, without getting too deep into it, could be determined by loss.
Okay.
Loss of a lost object and the pursuit of your desire.
That's good. I would say that's actually a very poignant place to film two people cruising. It's not a place that I would consider, but it's interesting, and I think it proves that a lot of times we think that cruising goes on in parks and things like that, when really it's going on right under our noses, isn't it?
Yeah, my take would be that there's a very, I don't know, transgressive or subcultural element to cruising. It's similar to when we talk about gaydar, when we talk about gaydar,
exactly.
How gay people recognize each other in public spaces. Cruising is an area where, or it's an articulation that happens just below the surface of regular discourse, of everyday life. And also it's related to when I had come from New York about 3 years ago. I did a grad seminar
Mm-hmm.
at the Whitney Museum, and at that time in the city, there was a crackdown on a lot of places for public sex and cruising places, and these were being, and this a lot of it was in the air at the time among gay activists and AIDS activists too, because at that time issues around AIDS were also dealing with how they were reaching certain camps of men in the city. When AIDS policy was first in the 80s, there were a lot of efforts to reach gay men. But later on, they started changing their articulation to, there was a designation called men who have sex with men, you know, MSM at the time.
Trying to cover
because
everybody.
a lot of men were not, a lot of men at risk for having AIDS were not identifying themselves as gay or bisexual even. So this designation was put up. And then later on, a lot of outreach programs started going into cruising areas, you know, giving away condoms, giving away literature at the time.
Now, how much longer do you think it'll be before you finish this video?
Probably in another few months. I would
Okay.
say another 2 months. I've been working on this off and on for about 2 years now.
Okay.
So,
and when you're done, is it going to be available in video stores, or how would you like to make it available to those who might want to see it?
I have a distributor in New York, Third World Newsreel, and they distributed another piece I did, a half-an-hour piece called Detour, or How I Spent My Weekend. So I'm going through there also a few festivals, the Mix Festival in New York. It's a lesbian gay festival, film festival.
Okay. Well, is there a phone number or something that someone can get in contact with you if they wanted to find out more about this?
Email address probably 2hatcat@hotmail.com.
Okay.
So
it's an interesting. That's an interesting email. Well, he definitely raises a big issue that is involved in the gay community, and I would suggest that you take a look at this video when he is done. And we'll be right back, first with a commercial and then the health news.
Hi, y'all boys ready to order?
I think I'll have the burger special.
We don't serve your kind in here.
What did you say?
I said we don't serve your kind in here. Y'all are just gonna have to leave.
You people know you're not welcome here. We don't serve homosexuals.
I'll tell you what, Dorinda, that video is probably going to make a pretty big impact, I would think, and probably cause possibly a little bit of controversy, being where it is on the ground and the site of the bombing.
Well, it's like something you had said earlier, it's almost a holy ground.
Exactly.
And I'm afraid some people may be offended by that. However, I think what he's trying to do is a very positive thing in exposing people to what cruising can be, those who don't know.
Well, it's definitely very real.
And awareness.
It's a real thing and a part of the community, of which there are many different parts of the community, and gays as well as lesbians. So look forward to that coming out.
I'd like to see it.
All right, Desmond, we've got some health news, I understand. What do you got for us tonight?
Thanks, John, and good evening, everyone. It appears that a new treatment combining interleukin-2 and highly active antiretroviral therapy for HIV can prevent the virus from replicating. In a report presented this week at the 36th annual meeting of the Infectious Diseases Society of America in Denver, Dr. Anthony Fauci said that after 14 patients who were treated in this manner, investigators could not grow live HIV from immune cells taken from 3 of the patients. Dr. Fauci, in spite of these encouraging results, cautioned that it is still too early to speak of the treatment as a cure. Interleukin-2 is a regulatory protein of the immune system produced in the body by T cells and has potent effects on a number of immune system cells. Investigators for the Terry Barron Community Programs for Clinical Research on AIDS conducted comparisons of standardized acupuncture regimen and amitriptyline hydrochloride for HIV-related peripheral neuropathy pain management. They compared acupuncture, amitriptyline, or the combination of both against placebo, using a daily recorded pain scale and changes in mean pain scores at 6 and 14 weeks. The researchers found that neither acupuncture nor amitriptyline was more effective than placebo in relieving the pain caused by HIV-associated neuropathy. Recent statistics from the CDC show that the number of new syphilis cases in the U.S. fell by 84% between 1990 and 1997. 3/4 of U.S. counties reported no new cases of syphilis in 1997, and 85% of the cases were concentrated in 6% of the counties. An epidemiologist for the CDC says the small geographic distribution of the disease and low rates may be a marker for eventually eliminating syphilis in the U.S. And now I believe we have Chuck Jones with your entertainment report this week. Chuck?
Thank you, Desmond. Broadway fans will have to wait a few days longer for the revival of George C. Wolfe's World War II musical, On the Town. The show was set to premiere tonight. Instead, opening night has been postponed. The main reason for the delay is that critics are contending that the dance numbers are, in a word, boring. The producers of the show have decided to bring in Tony-nominated choreographer Joey McNeely to doctor up the dance routines. In the meantime, actress Leah DeLauria has received rave reviews for her co-starring performance. I had a chance to view a portion of her performance, and I believe that she will indeed steal the show. Fans of the 1944 musical will have to wait until this Sunday to experience this nostalgic Broadway hit. And Sir Elton John keeps proving over and over that he is more than just a pop star. He was recently commissioned to write the score to the new Albert Brooks movie, The Muse. John's first film score was for the 1971 romance Friends. Since then, John has composed for such blockbusters as Disney's The Lion King, combining his talents with composer Tim Rice. Elton John's new project for The Muse will be his first solo attempt at a movie score in 27 years. We will anxiously await the premiere of this film. And finally, Anne Heche has proven that she is able to carry a film even in the light of her well-publicized romance with Ellen DeGeneres. Producers of the movie 6 Days, 7 Nights were a little on edge that their movie might suffer from Heche's celebrity. The movie turned out to be a major hit. Watch for Heche in the upcoming remake of Psycho. She plays the Janet Leigh character that gets stabbed to death in the famous Hitchcock shower scene. We congratulate Anne Heche on her recent success. It is well-deserved, and we wish her luck in her future movie roles and in her relationship with the stellar Ellen DeGeneres. Guys. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, she has done a great job of being in movies since this has come out
really
about
has.
her, and you really don't think about it. She's such a good actress, and it's nice to see her break into the mainstream and be focused on her work, what every other actor and actress is noted for.
Go ahead.
I think it shows that moviegoers want to see a good acting job instead of concerned about their private life.
Exactly.
You know? I think
She looks good.
She does.
She does a good
Very
job.
pretty lady.
Very pretty.
I think so.
We will be right back with some closing comments. Stay with us.
Fortunately, many Americans have found a way to respond to HIV.
You got a friend that's got AIDS.
What? They're shooting up? You think that's the only way
They're
people get
educating
AIDS?
their employees,
The issue here is education. AIDS is growing fast.
their communities,
Small town.
especially their friends and their families.
Last year I found out that I have HIV.
If we're going to prevent the spread of HIV, each and every one of us must do our part. Find out how you can help prevent HIV. Call 1-800-342-AIDS.
Did you bring it?
I forgot it.
Forget it.
Next time, don't forget it. And every time, make it part of the relationship.
A latex condom used consistently and correctly prevents the spread of HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, and may save your life.
If I'm going to have sex, it's going to be protected. And if it's not going to be protected, it's not going to be sex. I will talk about sex in a minute.
I thought, I can't let this conversation drop here.
We have to talk about sex.
There's no reason to be scared.
It's going to come up. If you don't practice safe sex and I do, then we are not made for each other, honey. It's not that hard. Get those words out.
I'll tell you.
Initiate it. I'm HIV negative. I intend to stay that way.
Respect yourself. Protect yourself.
We want to remind everybody that the Herland Thanksgiving potluck dinner they will have that on Monday, November 21st, which is at 7 p.m. And Herland is located at 2312 Northwest 39th. That's in Oklahoma City, of course. And for more information, you can give Herland a call at 521-9696.
Well, also, in our community, Diversity Coffee Shop is having a potluck Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday at 5 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day, so everyone is welcome to come.
Sounds fun.
If you'd like to bring a dish, you're welcome to do that. You can call and sign up if you like. Otherwise, just come join us, have some coffee, some chat, some good food. It'll be nice.
When is this going to be? At noon? Or?
At 5 o'clock on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day.
That'll be great. We also want to let you know that on Wednesday, yesterday, the Vermont Supreme Court heard an argument for and against gay marriage. being part of the state constitution. And the verdict is expected to be in about 2 to 3 months, so we'll be watching that for you.
And also yesterday, one more, the AIDS quilt is going to be moved from San Francisco to Washington, D.C.
Wow, they're going all the way across the country.
They are wanting more exposure. I think they'll get a lot more support.
I
So
do too.
a good move. We'd like to thank you for joining us this evening.
We also encourage you to call into our talkback line. We welcome your suggestions, and we appreciate your input as always. So have a great week, and we'll see you next week, Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.